Alright guys, today I'm going to disassemble and rebuild Husqvarna 44. It's old but quite popular chainsaw. It's quite simple, it doesn't have primer. You can see the regulation of the carburetor here, low speed, high speed. We have the choke, we have the stop switch. It's the gas plug. Here we have the oil compartment. Alright, let's see what's in here and whether we can restore it. It's a little bit stiff, so I can feel that it probably needs some cleaning. I'm not sure how much time it's been stored and whether it's been used at least for some time in recent years or not. Right, let's see what's inside. Here the air filter, carburetor inside, cylinder head, have the muffler. It's not too bad. Can't see any spark. It's on. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there is a spark. No, I can't see any. Oops. I'm going to check if everything is fine. Is the switch with the cables inside seem to be replaced at some point, because I can see that this is manual. I mean, it hasn't been here before. It's not like manufacturer's cable. So I haven't seen any spark. Apparently there is something with the wire. I'm going to check if it's also Magneto or some other problem. So I didn't see the spark coming from the spark plug. So it's an indication that I definitely can install this chain. Let me see. Filter definitely needs some cleaning. I'll see if I can restore it. It's pretty dirty. Right, we have the carburetor. Carburetor looks fine to me. It's not dirty. It's not clogged, but I'm going to check it out. Right. It's pretty cool how they assemble this chainsaw with all these fittings. fuel line. Right, so the next step that we need to do is to remove the carburetor, and we'll see how it's going. So here we have couple of nuts. Let me see, now it should be about, I would say 8. Let's see if I have 8 here. Here's my 8. Almost out. Going to take this plate. It's a little bit tricky. To have this trigger inside. So the choke lever and the plates, the filter plate, they assemble together. You have to be careful not to break it. Now we have carburetor. And the fuel line. Right. Here's the fuel line that I need to take out from the carburetor. Let me see. It's a little bit tricky. I also have this spring here. To push it out. You see, here it comes, the spring. This is the position that it was installed. And the tricky part is our let me see. Yes. So this is the carburetor. It's pretty standard Walbro. Pretty cool that they have these plastic parts, so it helps helps to navigate through this hole, because if you use the screwdriver sometimes you cannot really feel it. It's really cool that they make this part. Right, here we have the gasket. Gasket is pretty stiff. Definitely need to replace this gasket. Yeah, I feel it. It's like metal. Wow. Yeah, it looks like custom made thing. Now I'm going to take out the cap of the recoil starter. So it's usually 4 screws to here and to here. But before this, I have to drain all gas, because I can see it start dripping. Alright. Well, this old gas you can actually use to clean some parts when you need to dissolve this sediments from the oil or from the rubber, so it's quite useful. You can't really reuse it again, because normally it's about 1 week that you can use it. Yeah, you can see it here. It's very strange color. Right, 4 screws here. Nearly done. Yes. Oh wow, it's really dirty. I'm going to clean everything here. So I'm probably going to flush it using this old. Yes, the flywheel seems fine. But it's definitely a custom-made cable here, so I'm going to check it out and see whether it needs the replacement. You can see the Magneto in here. So I'm not sure. I'm going to see if this needs replacement. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to take the muffler out. It's pretty standard procedure, just need to use the 8mm wrench just to screw it. And one more here. Looks fairly okay, but I'm going to clean it. I didn't see that much dirt inside. Well, the piston looks very nice. Just yeah, look at that. Wow. Well, apparently it was changed, so don't think it's going to be a problem to reach the compression that is required. As you can see, there is no overheating, anything like this. Looks very good. Yes. It's a lot of dirt in this chainsaw. I'm going to see if I need to flush it all. What I have here is carburetor from the Husqvarna 44 chainsaw. They're pretty standard. It's Walbro. So we have the idle screw, we have the low, high, high screw. So everything seemed to work fine, but I'm going to see how it looks inside, whether I need to change the diaphragm or some other things. Right, let's see how it looks. This is the diaphragm and the gasket. Well, actually it's not that bad at all. So you can see that it's not damaged. These valves, small valves, are not bent in either of the sides. So it looks very nice to me. So I'm just going to flush it because, well, yeah, it's a little bit sticky and dirty. And let's see how it looks from this side. thought that I would need to replace this diaphragm, but apparently it's pretty in good shape, so I don't need to worry, because usually what happens that if you have this diaphragm which has been there for a while, it becomes like stiff, so it can, especially these parts, so you can't really do anything about this because the pump doesn't work, so it won't bend, and that's why you have the erratic idling behavior of the chainsaw. Well, this one looks a bit stiff. Yeah, so I'm going to need the replacement for this part, so you can see how. Oh my god, yeah, it's really stiff. It feels really stiff here. So I'm going to replace these parts, so it shouldn't be like this. Inside it looks fairly okay. Inside, so everything is fine except this pump, so definitely we'll need to replace, because this is the indicator of malfunctioning pump, and this one shouldn't rotate too easily, so this metal part should be kind of like tightened to this knob. Right, now I'm going to use some carb cleaner. I'm going to use oil gas that I drained from this chainsaw, and yeah, let's see what this is all about, whether I can get it running. Alright guys, I'm going to unscrew the flywheel and the drum clutch from this Husqvarna 44. So you can see it has the screw here and then here, so I have to take out, and I can see also that the oil is dripping, so apparently it needs a new gasket. I'll see how to fix it later. Right, to stop the piston, in order to unscrew flywheel and drum clutch, I have to insert the wire like 2.5 millimeters to prevent it from moving. You see, yeah. Try to pack it with the wire as much as I can. Alright, looks about right. And then I have to take out the flywheel. Let me see. It's this one. Alright, so you can see this one is blocked. That is why I can unscrew the flywheel. So for the flywheel I have to use range, which is 13, and for the drum clutch I'm going to use the one that is 15. have to remember that it's the opposite way, so I'm unscrewing it clockwise. So this is clockwise, this is counterclockwise. It's important to remember. The dump clutch looks pretty fine. Yeah, I don't see any major damages to this one, so I'm going to reuse it. Right. Once I have it all out, yeah, for this I will take care of this later, because I will need to use puller to take it out. All right. Nope. Let's see. Need to take out the magneto, and for the magneto I'm going to use HW3. So there are two screws that I need to take out. I have to clean this one because it's some old stuff inside. Just to be able to put the wrench inside. Doesn't move at all. take it later, because I think I will need to drill that screw. So for now, I have to take out the piston cylinder head to see how it looks inside. Right, there are 4 screws, and for this I have to use CRV for this one. Pretty stiff. Probably need to take out the handle to be able to reach the opposite side. Right, it's 8mm. So 2 screws from this side. Yes, and 2 screws from this side. So 4 screws is out, and what we have here, well, it looks pretty good. Sure, it was new when it was installed. So the cylinder looks fine, and the piston looks relatively okay. Of course I'm going to clean it out, but for now I have to take, it's a lot of strange thing. It's a wood oil, it's pretty stiff. Yeah, I have to clean it all. You can see one screw is here. So I have to disassemble everything here because it's pretty stiff. Right, to take the flywheel on this model of Husqvarna, I need to use the puller. So the puller looks like this. That central pin of the puller goes inside this kind of like hole on the crankshaft, and then I'm just grabbing the flywheel by arms and using this 15 inch. Let's see how it goes. It's a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna try it again. It's a bit challenging to get the grip on this one. No, it doesn't work too well. You have to find some other solution. take flywheel from this Husqvarna 44. I'm going to use this one, and you need to screw it. So also I put some WD-40 and use the heat gun. Here it comes. I'll need to do some cleaning on this one. Alright, what do we have? We have a couple screws here. Really hard to see where the screws are because it's extremely dirty. It's really so still something is holding. Can't really find it. I feel that something is holding it, but I can't really see where is the screw that is holding it. the disassembly of the crankcase and the body is a little bit tricky here, so we need to unscrew two screw here, two here, one here, and there was one here and two here, and then you can take it out. Tricky. Here we have a Walbro carburetor from Husqvarna 44 chainsaw, and as it might happen, there was quite stiff diaphragms, so the ideal RPM wasn't stable, it was erratic. And what I did, I put basically all the gaskets and all the diaphragm here, and here we have the brake fluid dot for. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to assemble them. Right. And it's a common problem on these carburetors. So you have these diaphragms that are a little bit stiff, or they have some kind of changed. Yeah, you can see here. It became much softer, but before it looked like different from what it should be. And the gasket, right. Right, we start from the top. So you can see it became much better, much better. I'm going to put it here, the cover. So you have to remember that this part goes on top of this small lever or handle. Right. I mean, the carburetors are quite sensitive, and normally what can happen is either diaphragm, or they have this nose inside that gets blocked, or it's something is not clear, like the fuel was dirt, and then everything went into the carburetor, or the fuel was old, and then it resulted in these sediments in the carburetor inside. They're quite cheap, 10-15 bucks, but of course you can try to fix it. So now the bottom part, right? So here you can see it looks really nice and much better than before. You can see that the valves are not diverted from the normal shape. So I'm going to install it. So first you put this diaphragm, then you need to put the gasket. And then the cover. You can actually assemble it first. Right. Oops. So you have to be careful to remember the order in which you're assembling these parts of the carburetor. Everything is tight and nice. Yes, that was Walbro carburetor. Of course, it's a temporary solution, so I'm not sure how long these diaphragms will last, but as soon as you're not using intensively, and as soon as you change the fuel and keep it serviced, it probably will run for some time. Right guys, I'm going to show how to assemble the crankcase for this Husqvarna 44. I got this old, basically hardly starting chainsaw, and I decided why not to restore it. So I cleaned everything. There was like a lot of sludge, sediments around, so I had to clean the cylinder head. Inside I had to do a lot of work on the piston. You can see it's not terribly bad, but it looks like it has been serviced for some time ago. You can see it's the head, the crankcase. So I cleaned it all. There is no damage except some scratches on the paint, but I don't think it will prevent this chainsaw from running. So for this I will have to use 2-stroke oil for stroke engine oil. Have this CRV4 that I will need to use. Then I have also a few other things like the screwdriver. So I'm going to put it back together with this gasket. Right. So first of all I will need to screw back these 4 screws that I have in here. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. 4. It's 4 screws. I have to tighten the crankcase. Right. So the next thing I'm going to tighten the oil tank. So there are 2 screws. Right, so the next thing that I have to put back the piston and everything that is left here, including the gasket. So I'm going to use a little bit oil, 2-stroke oil. I'm going to use 2-stroke oil. This is a bit reddish here, so I'm going to put it a little bit around the ball bearings from both sides. Also towards the rods. Right, for the gasket, I'm going to reuse this old gasket. It's not too bad, but I'm going to put the 4-stroke oil around to grease it a little bit. Right, it goes in here. So the next thing that I'm going to put the piston back on the rod. So I have the wrist pin, I have the ball bearing, I have the snap rings, and I'll have to insert it in the rod. Right, let me see. A little bit tight, but I have to put a bit of 2-stroke here. And the same on the pin, wrist pin. So the ring, that goes on top of the piston. I'm going to slowly put it on top. Let's see it here. Right. So this arrow should be in front of the air intake, which will be in here. So I'm just going to insert on top. Have to grease everything inside this piston to have the openings for this wrist fitting in. kind of tricky to get it through, so you have to adjust the hole in the piston and the opening in the ball bearing. So once you have it in, the next step is to put these small snap rings inside from both of the sides. So we have the first one, now it's the same for the second one. Have to be careful not to lose this ring. It's very tight, but you have a widening inside, or opening inside, that you have to use it to put it in, so that the ring doesn't snap. So you have to check it from both sides. Can you see this one? Yeah. Right, so once the piston is in place, I'm going to check if it's fairly fine. I have to put a little bit stroke oil on the sides of this piston, so that it's easier for me to put it on inside the cylinder head. Right, so this is the cylinder head. I cleaned it. Now I'm going to insert it. Don't forget the gasket. And the last 4 screws that you put in the gasket, in the cylinder head. For this one you need to use the extension because it's quite deep inside. So the extension to the screwdriver. And that was all. This is how we assembled the crankcase for this Husqvarna 44. Now don't forget that the arrow wheel will be facing the muffler. And the muffler in this case is located in this direction. Right, and the mark, the snap ring you need to put inside. Just check that it's inside, it's fixed. So the arrow should point towards the muffler. The muffler is in here. got 4 screws on top. This video I'm going to show how to put basically the clutch and the oil pump in this Husqvarna 44. So we have the oil hose with the filter in here. I clean it thoroughly. Then we have the oil pump. So this hose is attached to this hole. Then it's going to the oil tank inside. Right, it's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you how to assemble it. So first we have this plastic transmission, so that when the crankshaft spins, it rotates the oil pump here and here. I'm going to put it first one, then this hose goes in here, oil pump, then the washer goes on top of this one. Right, I have to put 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. So the next one is our drum clutch. Looks like this. This is our spring, so when it spins, just basically expands and starts rotating the clutch. You have to remember that the way you screw it in is the anti-clockwise. I'm going to tighten it at some later point. This video I'm going to show how to put the muffler back to the chainsaw. I have a muffler that I had to clean completely. I have the holding plate that holds it to the crankcase. I had to use the gasket. I had to cut it myself because the original one was gone. This is the exhaust part of the cylinder. So I'm going to try it first to see. And this is our muffler and the plate. So it goes here. Now the screw goes here. So to tighten it, I'm using 8mm wrench. Now it's tight, and the last thing is the screw that I have to fix this plate that I'm going to use in here. Right. Right, I'm going to attach the handle together with the fuel tank back to this Husqvarna 44. Right, for this I will have there are actually six screws that you need to put in together. Six screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because those are springs, you will have to attach it carefully. So I'm going to start with this one. You also need a flat screwdriver to put it inside. Now you have to remember that this is screwed together with this slot. We have to insert it here. This is the first one. I'm going to screw it in with the flat screwdriver. This one goes from the other side. And this is Series 4 torque. And then the other four are just normal flat screwdriver. Alright, so we are back on track. It's almost ready. Right, in this video I'm going to show how to put back the drum clutch together with the flywheel, and I'm going to tighten both of them. But before I do this, I need to block the piston inside the cylinder head. So for this I'm going to use 2-3mm wire just to put it inside as much as I can first. Next, I'm putting the drum clutch. It's the opposite, counterclockwise. I'm using 15mm head. Next, for the flywheel, first of all I have to insert this kind of washer so it keeps the crankcase sealed. I'm going to use a little bit oil on top of it. Alright. And 3 screws. It's our seal, so I'm going to tighten these 3 screws. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. Next, the flywheel together with washer. Right, I have this washer here and 13mm screw on top of it. Now in this video I'm going to show how to put back the Magneto, the ignition coil. I had to fix it a little bit, had to put a new cable. because it was quite old, so it took me some time to repair it. So now I have to put it. Now the important thing that you need to remember is that the air gap between the ignition coil and the flywheel should be around 0.3 on this Husqvarna 44, so 0.3 millimeter. Right, I have two screws, so for this one I need to use HW3. So I'm going to put this one first. You don't need to tighten it completely, just leave a little bit space for the adjustment of the air gap. And the adjustment is made using tightening or loosening these two screws. So you have to take the magneto part on this side. Let me see. Have to take a little bit out the magneto part. So it's really tricky, really tricky. It's 0.3. So I'm going to use. You have to put it in between the magneto and then push it towards the flywheel as much as I can. As much as I can. And then tighten it. Yes, so now we have this 0.3 millimeter gap, which is quite, I can feel it here. Then it means that it is adjusted. One of the tricks how we can properly adjust the flywheel air gap, you have to put first magneto, the magnet part from the flywheel somewhere on the opposite side. Insert this 0.3 millimeter measurement tool, put it and then rotate so that you have the magnet in this place. And then this is the right correction, right positioning of the flywheel magnet, and then you can tighten it actually. Right, so this is the way to go. Yep. So in this video I'm going to show how to place back the recoil starter together with all the harness that I have here. So the first thing is this plastic strip. So it goes in here. Let me see. Goes in here. Right. Next, all the cables goes inside. Right, and the last piece is our recoil starter. Let's see. Up here. And for us last screws, I'm going to place 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yes. So this is how it works. Then you have the spark plug, you have the carburetor, air filter, everything here. Yes. Now, how to measure the compression of the cylinder? I have this tool which measures in bar and the PCI, and then I have to unscrew the spark plug, put it in, and pull the just hold it and be careful, and pull it maybe 3, 5, 6 times. And here you can see 125 PCI, so this is quite good. I mean, the margin is between maybe 70 and 100, so 100 is considered good. 80, 90 it will run. 70, 60 it might not run, so it's a marginal. If you have more than 100, then you're good to go. Now I'm going to show how to assemble the last part of the chainsaw. We have the plate between the carburetor and the cylinder head. So you have to put it first, have to fit it actually in. Kind of tight, especially on this side. So it is tight. You have to kind of make sure that you put it in from both sides. Yeah, it's not that easy actually. You have to find that place where it fits. Nope. So you can see that you need to make sure that you can fit it in. Let me see. Not the most convenient place to put this thing. Yes. First, second. Yes, there's a few things left. So the spring I'm attaching on this side. Let's see, it goes in. Alright. Now the throttle. Yes. Not the choke, not the throttle, choke. All connected. The last thing is the filter. But before I have to attach this small thing. What's this? 8mm. Filter. That's it. Let's see the spark. I'm going to assemble this Husqvarna 44, so I'm going to put back the handle. Let's see, 2 screws, 1, 2, it's 8mm head. to use 8mm wrench. Yes, all done.